I'm at my friend Brooke's house, and this is a recipe that she makes, and it's really good. I've had it before at her house, and I thought it would be really good because it has black beans in it, and they have a lot of protein, and especially if you are someone who likes to do meatless things, it's a good way to get your protein. So I'm going to let her introduce the ingredients and how she makes it, and then we're going to cook it and eat it.
Things that you need 3/4 of a cup of whole wheat flour, an entire can of black beans, not drained, some black pepper, a teaspoon of baking powder, and about 1/4 cup of green onions. That's the only thing that goes into the black bean patties. And then for the chutney, it's made of fruit mostly. I used a whole medium apple, peel the skin off and chop it up into little cubes like that. And then an entire kiwi and an entire tangerine. And the spices that go into it are cumin, curry, and cayenne pepper. And a teaspoon of honey and 1/4 cup of water. That all just cooks together on the stovetop. And then we have to use a little bit of olive oil to cook the black bean patties on the skillet.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to put the ingredients together for the black bean patties. Brooke mixed it already before I got here, so I'm going to show you pretend way that we're going to do it. So first you'll open the can of black beans and you'll pour it in the bowl. And then you'll take the whole wheat flour, measure it out, and then you'll pour that into the black beans. The same thing goes with the baking powder and then the pepper. So you'll mix it up really good. And this is what it should look like. Is that a good close-up? It looks really pretty, especially with, like, it's kind of purple and it has the green in it, and it looks really nice. And so you'll set that aside. And this is the apple that she has chopped right here. And then over here are the tangerine, which is chopped a little bit. Mostly it's just mushed looking, but when it cooks, it'll all like break down. So this is the tangerine, the kiwi, and the cumin and curry powder. Is that it? What
and
else?
Cayenne pepper.
And cayenne pepper. So that is for the chutney. Alright, so to start the chutney, first you just need a saucepan like this, and we've already put the water inside of it. And now we need to add the honey. Okay, so there's 1/4 cup of water in here, and we're going to add 1 teaspoon of honey. Just trying to get the honey off of the spoon. And now we're going to add the apples in. Take a little longer than the rest of the fruits to cook, so you put just the apples in first for 5 minutes. So you put the stove on medium-high for 5 minutes. So like 7?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. Did you cover it?
No, I don't cover it. Okay. I cover it when I put the rest of the fruit in.
So you just let those cook for 5 minutes?
Yeah, go. So the apples have been cooking with the honey and water for about 5 minutes now, so I'm going to add the rest of the chutney ingredients, the kiwi, tangerine, and the spices. Just add it all in there, stir it together, and turn it down to low. It doesn't really need to cook so much at this point. It just needs to marinate and get all the juices flowing and heat up with the apples. And so your chutney is pretty much done now. Now the black bean patties. So the chutney turned out to be a little bit dry for whatever reason. It should be a little saucy because we're going to pour the sauce on the black bean patties. So I'm going to add just a little bit more water to cooking with that. I added like 1/4 cup. See, now you can see it looks a little bit juicier, so you'll have something to pour on the black bean patties. Alright, and then I put the lid on, just to let it cook a little bit more, and now we can make our black bean patties. So, just take whatever oil you prefer. I use olive oil.
Could you use cooking spray if you don't want to use like a whole tablespoon of oil, do you think?
I don't think that you could, because I think the black beans, the patties need oil to cook in. You'll see when we cook them, they turn darker. The flour right now is like a lighter color.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The oil needs to be in there just to kind of
cook the flour.
Yeah, cook the flour out. So I don't think cooking spray would really work because they wouldn't cook all the way through. So right now I'm just going to wait for my pan to heat up a little bit, and then I'll pour the oil in there. Okay, so when you're measuring out the black bean patties, it makes it easier if you use an ice cream scoop. That way they're uniform and they'll cook evenly. They usually cook about 3 minutes on each side. You'll be able to tell when they darken, which we'll show you. So the skillet has been heated up on medium high, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. This is what the black beans are going to cook in. Sometimes you might need to add more or less. You'll just have to feel it out and see how your patties are turning out. So I take the ice cream scoop to get it pretty much full here. And you're going to use your fingers, so don't be afraid to touch it. Just plop it down there. You'll hear it sizzle. And I like to just press it down a little bit with my fingers so that it looks like a burger patty. You have to work kind of quickly because you want them to cook at the same time. And I leave a little bit of space around them so that I can flip them. I probably could have used a little bit less oil, depending on how much I take.
So maybe you could try to use like 1 tablespoon and then see if you need more.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great idea.
Also, I just think, you know, obviously we really like eating this recipe with like the chutney and like the Indian flavors, but you can see that you could make them anything. Like the beans are such a good like carrier food. Like you can make it with any other flavors. Like you can make them Mexican.
Yeah, you could put salsa on this.
That sounds good.
You can see on the bottoms they'll start to get like a darker brown color when they're cooking. Just stir them around a little. Pretty soon we can give one a flip. This one looks like ready. Okay, so that's what that one side should look like. And after I flip it, I always flatten it a little bit. That way you make sure the inside gets cooked. So this is after all of the black beans have been flipped over. You can tell that they look a little bit darker than what we started out with. That's how you can tell that they're done. And this is about the thickness that you want it to be. Because any thicker than that, and you're not going to get the inside cooked, and it's going to be kind of doughy and floury, which wouldn't be bad. It's just, you know,
not optimal.
Not optimal. So then after they've cooked for a few minutes on the one side, they don't need as long on the other side, maybe 2 minutes. You just really have to feel it out and look and see if any parts don't look cooked, but usually it's 2 to 3 minutes on the other side. So the black bean patties are done. I'm just going to take a spatula and lay them out on the plate. And if you make them in batches, I don't recommend putting foil over them to keep them hot. I've done that in the past, and they get a little bit soggy because the foil traps all the steam and then it drops onto the black bean patties, and it's not good. So I would just lay them out without anything covering it. So we put the black bean patties on the plate, and then we'll take a look at our chutney here. It's really yellow from the curry. So good. And you just dish it on there, however much you want. And that's it.
Voila! Black bean patties with delicious fruit chutney.
And the black bean patties freeze really well, too.
Thanks, Brooke!
No problem.